The fifth-seeded Sentinels, led by head coach Karen Self, took care of business in round one of the Open playoffs, dismantling Buckeye. Round two, the task gets even tougher as number 21 Sunrise Mountain comes to John J. McMahon Gym. It's the Mustangs and Sentinels right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Pequeno, alongside the doctor, Adam Perry. And Doc, the first round, Seton put on a clinic led by the guard play of Carmen Gallardo and Sophie Morales, accounting for 34 points, and the defense was spectacular in a blowout win over Buckeye.
Yeah, I mean, that win was just spectacular. We saw this team firing on all cylinders. They were perfect. But here tonight, they've got a team that's good top to bottom. They've got a few tough scores, and they're a tough team to beat on the road, Joe.
So here comes Sunrise Mountain, the 21 seed. They went on the road and knocked off number 12 Sunnyside. They've got 3 double-digit scores, and Addison Weeman, as well as Savannah Dotre and Jaden Marza, a team on the road, Doc, that plays so well with a record of 11-1 outside their building.
Yeah, and that's just tremendous. But here tonight, everyone has a 0-0 record. We've just got to play basketball. And Joe, I'm excited for this one.
Absolutely, and there is a big coaching connection as well between Coach Toll of Sunrise Mountain and Karen Self. We'll touch on that. It's the first ever meeting between the Sentinels and Mustangs. It's coming up. We'll have the starting lineups and more from John J. McMahon Gym right here. Playoff action on the Seton Catholic Sports Network.
Monsignor John J. McMahon Gymnasium.
And we are closing in on the second round open matchup between the Sentinels and Sunrise Mountain, the first ever meeting between these two squads, and it's going to be a good one. Sunrise Mountain, so good on the road, a record of 11-1, pulling off the road victory against number 12 Sunnyside in the first round. And of course, Seton, so good at home with a record of 9-0. First round win over Buckeye. Sentinels started slow but came on strong with the 60-31 win. As we mentioned, Carmela Gallardo and Sophie Morales was 17 apiece. Mia DiPuccio chipped in 10, and the defense was so good. We'll take a moment for the school prayer and the national anthem.
Holy Spirit, dear Lord, thank you for the many opportunities you have given us. Thank you for this time together in the spirit of competition. Please help these athletes and officials perform to the best of their abilities and keep them free from injury. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, pray for us. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Our officials for tonight's game, as assigned by the AAR, Shane Rainey, Richard Pineda, and Alfonso Parks.
Announcements are in the books. The national anthem is in the books. Starting lineup for Sunrise Mountain. Savannah Dautre putting up 13-6-2. Lane Demiri, 2-2-2. Jaden Marza make that 12-5-1. Addison Weeman, 14-9-1, and Kylie Inman, 5-3-2. Starting lineup for the Sentinels starts with Mia DiPuccio up top, putting up 11-6-1. Reagan Gregston, averaging almost 7-6-2. Carmela Gallardo leading the team in scoring at 15-2-2. Sophie Morales, the spark plug, does it all, putting up 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. And Caitlin Benally. And one correction on my part, number 23, Jaden Maza for Sunrise Mountain. So this is a team that is coming in with confidence, a team that is ready to get after it, and they're led by head coach Jen Toll. Jen is the all-time scoring leader at Skyline High School. She played point guard in her time, and she played with a slew of Seton Catholic players back in the day on the club circuit. So her and Karen Self are friends, and she considers Karen a mentor who's given her great advice over the course of time, and now here they are. It's almost the master versus the learner, and as we see the pictures right there, you can see the picture on the screen, Jen Toll with a slew of former Sentinel players that she played with on the club circuit. So this is the first ever meeting between these two teams. And
very cool, very cool.
For Seton, they're gonna have to try to contain Addison Weeman in the post. Mia DiPuccio will get the duty on that. And for Sunrise Mountain, play great defense and try to score in transition. So the Sentinels win the opening tip, and Sophie will bring things out to survey the defense. And Sunrise Mountain coming out in a man zone. DiPuccio underneath, and Mia going strong. And that's exactly what you want to see. Mia underneath, reading the defense and going the other way underneath. Talking to Jen Toll, she said the big three of Weeman, Dautre, and Maza, they've been the backbone of this team all year, Doc. And a squad heavily relying on those three. And how about Sophie with a block on Weeman? Sophie going through traffic. And Sophie does not get the foul call, goes back the other way. Dautre, Weeman from long range. Can't connect from three. And that's knocked out of bounds.
And let me tell you, Joe, it feels a bit weird seeing Caitlin Benally as the second tallest player on the court. Sunrise has brought the size with them here today.
Addison Weeman, a sophomore. Catch and shoot. Dautre cannot connect, and Morales already. And the call goes against Morales. So nerves are high in this second round matchup. First ever meeting between these two teams. Sunrise Mountain out of the 5A Northwest, finished second behind Kellis. A record of 10-2 in league play. Almost turned over, down in the box. Worked across, Maza. 17 on the shot clock. Dautre swings it around. Cutting inside, Maza worked back out. Shot from the corner, no good. Benally brings it in. And this is a Mustangs team as Benally hits from 10 feet. And a timeout on the floor. So collectively, Doc, when we look at this Sunrise Mountain team, they've got their 3 scores, but from the field, they shoot only 36%. So as Karen talked about, Coach Self talked about, they're gonna really do a concerted effort of keeping Weeman out of the post, deep in the post, and really working her to be more outside, and they'll live with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, 36% is not exactly a high mark to shoot from the field, but the Sentinels still have to minimize Sunrise's opportunities, because obviously, you know, they've made it here this far. They're doing something right, and perhaps they take an abundance of shots or something or the other. Maybe their defense is that good to keep their opponents scoring low, but regardless, the Sentinels need to stay on the pressure here after this early timeout.
And it's a really good start for DiPuccio, who scored 10 points in that opener. And I love the fact she saw the recognition and worked the ball around the other side and went strong in. And then Caitlin Benally with the jumper from 10 feet out. Dautre, good pressure by Morales. 19 on the shot clock. Dautre. She's got about a foot size advantage on Morales. And it's going to be a blocking foul against Sophie. That's her first. And you got to kind of like that if you're Coach Toll on the other side. Dautre's got that size, and she's going to work that to her advantage, driving the lane against Morales. Inbounds. And that is thrown away, and it's going back the other way. And Dautre is on the court right now, and she's holding her knee. And we're going to take a moment. We'll take a break right here from John J. McMahon Gym. In a very disappointing moment in this second round open matchup, Savannah Dautre was helped off to the trainer's table, and Doc, right now she's being looked at. She was holding her knee. She looked to be in deep pain, and now Sunrise Mountain is going to have to go to their bench and lose one of their top scorers that has been so valuable in the course of their 23-win season. We play on. Under 6 minutes left in the opening frame with Seton with a 4-0 lead. Morales gets the high screen from Benally. Morales will kick it back out. DiPuccio dumps it down to Benally, guarded by Weeman. How about the give and go? And DiPuccio
Beautiful.
up and in.
Wow. That's great to see from these Sentinels. That camaraderie right there, I mean, you can tell that shot has been practiced hundreds of times. That was beautiful.
And the foul on Jaden Mazza as Mia will go to the line, a 57% free throw shooter. And I just love how the bigs recognized the defensive set in front of them and just broke it down very quickly. Mazza will swing it around. 23 on the shot clock. They work it out to the top of the key. Laney Demiri. And another turnover. And Morales works the ball and we'll pull it back out to reset. Off the screen, Sophie. And there's going to be an offensive foul on the screen by Mia DiPuccio. That's her first. Couple team fouls by the Sentinels. And the good thing so far, Doc, 3 minutes in, Carmela Gallardo, no ticky-tack foul.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's great to see. And so far, no points allowed either. The Sentinel defense is holding up strong. They get another turnover right here.
Benally picks up the loose ball, and Morales out to Reagan Gregston, and Gregston couldn't grasp it. And gotta love that Reagan looked at Sophie, said, my bad, right? And that's what winners do. They accept blame and have accountability at all times. Sunrise still looking for its first point. Weeman guarded by DiPuccio. Swung around. Jaden Mazza putting up 12, 5, and 1. Mazza and Weeman are gonna have to pick up the scoring even more in this one. Dumped down the blocks. Weeman banks it off the glass, her first bucket. And exactly what Seton didn't want to happen is have Weeman get deep in the post. Morales kicks in the corner. Gregston long range. Reagan from three. Reagan Gregston from downtown. A 25% three-point shooter, 100% on the night. A 9-2 Seton lead. Mustangs coming in here with all kinds of confidence after the road victory over Sunnyside. Weeman throws it away. Morales. Gregston. Gallardo, her first shot. And Carmela with a purpose. And the Sentinels out to a 12-2 lead. And Doc, if you're Seton and you're loving what you're seeing, Karen Self, you got 4 different players that have scored already. DiPuccio with 4. Reagan just knocked down the 3. Carmela just seconds ago from long distance. And Caitlin Benally with a bucket.
Yeah, I mean, the Sentinels are spreading the love right now. They can score from anywhere in anyone's game right now. I mean, all things considered, 12-2 is a phenomenal start.
And right now, the storyline for Sunrise Mountain is junior Savannah Dautre putting up 13, 6, and 2. So pivotal, so vital to the team's 23-5 run to get to the second round of the Open Finals. She went down with a knee injury. She's being worked on right behind us in the trainer's table. Prayers to her, prayers to her family as you're looking at Coach Jen Toll. And Coach Toll is doing a wonderful job with this team. They lost in the first round of the Open playoffs, but made a tremendous run all the way to the 5A finals last year. Sunrise is Laney Damari, taken away by Sophie. Sophie, couple dribbles behind the back, and Sophie will shoot a pair. Sophie relentless. And right now, Sunrise Mountain feeling the wrath of Seton and what they can do defensively. Morales, a 69% free throw shooter. Hits the first. And Doc, how good was Sophie the other night in that second period, putting up 13 points?
Yeah, I mean, she just blacked out and could not miss from beyond the arc. Phenomenal. Second shot is good to go.
And it's a 14-2 Seton lead. Damari with the challenge of trying to keep Morales at bay. Weeman down in the blocks, pull up, off the mark. Gregston with the rip. Here comes Sophie, surveying the floor, down court. Gallardo shoots it over to DiPuccio. Morales left side. Gregston in that corner, goes back to Sophie. Sophie will reset with 23 on the shot clock. Damari on Morales, worked over. Gallardo swung it over to Morales. Long range, bang.
Wow. That's awesome from the Sentinels right there. How about that passing and ball movement and the off-ball movement from Sophie to get it done too.
Morales now with 5. It's a 17-2 Seton lead. Pass inside, won't go. Morales, right side. Sophie swings it over. Benally will pull up. Benally, a little too strong. DiPuccio's there. Rips it over to Carmella. Carmella being tracked down by Kylie Inman. Carmella to Benally. Benally to Morales. Morales going strong. And Sophie. And it counts. Morales picking up where she left off the other night. Morales now with 7 points in the first. A 19-2 Seton advantage.
Wow. And this is just not the outcome we expected, honestly, in this one so far. But Seton Catholic is playing with their tails on fire here. 20-2 with 2 minutes left.
Morales with 10 first quarter points, coming off a 17-point outing in the win over Buckeye. And how good is Sophie Morales? She puts up 10, 4, and 6. 4 rebounds, and is usually the smallest individual on the court, and always manages to make work among the trees. And once again, it's Morales tracking down a rebound. And how about the handles by Morales? Just one to watch, and always putting on a show here at John J. McMahon Gym. The young lady who is going to make a collegiate coach happy. DiPuccio goes up and in. And Mia's got 6. And the lead is 22-2. Down court, Weeman for second, lost the handle. Works it back out. Inman. Make that Damari. Guarded by Morales. Swings it over to Mazza. Inside, Weeman. Turns around. Soft roll by Addison Weeman. She's got 4 points. Only a sophomore. And she stands 6'2", Doc. There's going to be a lot of college coaches that are hoping they get her signature on a dotted recruited line.
Yeah.
Weeman comes up with the good post defense. Works it across the half-court line. Some contact down in the box. Inman shoots it over. Mazza, long range. Won't go. Benally rips it. Morales, right side, swings it over. Gallardo pulls up, connects.
Wow.
And right now, everything going well for Seton. A 24-4 first period lead. Mustangs will play for the final shot. Weeman down in the box. Damari, and that will do it. And what a first period for the Sentinels.
I mean, that was just a ballistic run, a sprint by the Sentinels, and they did not let off the pressure there.
They hold the Mustangs to 4 first period points. Morales leading the charge. Morales with 8 points in the first. DiPuccio with 6, Gallardo with 5, and Caitlin Benally with a deuce, and Reagan Gregston also fired up a 3. So, Doc, script intended. Defense spectacular. 4 first period points.
Yeah.
Starting lineup, everyone involved.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely just a phenomenal performance from Seton, a shutout, if you will. 4 points allowed, and I mean, they all just look like superstars right now. They look like, have you ever seen Space Jam?
Absolutely.
The Sentinels look like the Monstars right now after they took everyone's power.
And correct me if I'm wrong, in that movie, Bill Murray says he's a scorer. doesn't play defense. Am I correct?
Yes.
Got it. So the big news once again for Sunrise Mountain, Savannah Dautre, such a vital part of this team's postseason run. A team 23-5, 10-2 in the 5A Northwest to finish second in that division, right behind Kellis. Out right now with a knee injury, being looked at on the trainer's table. So Sunrise, this is the last thing they expected, and now they find themselves in a 20-point hole against a team that has not lost at home all season. 9-0, Seton, so good on home court. Gregston playing tight defensively. And that's going to be a travel call on Kylie Inman. Great defense by Gregston. Forced that one extra step. And we got members of the Seton basketball team, Julian Garcia, as well as Miguel Gahalva. Miguel sporting the Miami Dolphins jersey this evening. Shot from the outside. Carmela rips the triple. And Doc, right now, Seton can't miss.
No, I mean, they are just on fire.
Shooting percentage off the charts. This one from long range, and that is buried by Kylie Inman. A much needed basket, 27-4. Gallardo puts it on the deck. Morales will let it fly. A little short off the iron, but DiPuccio's there. DiPuccio to Benally. Benally will swing it back to Morales. Morales on the deck. Morales. And the ball's taken away and tied up. Good defense that time. Sophie forced the pass inside, but possession arrow in favor of Seton. 25 seconds on the shot clock. 6:49 left in the second. Seton up 27-7. DiPuccio will let it fly. A little too long from the outside. Jaden Maza working the ball up the floor. And right now the Mustangs looking for some offense other than Addison Weeman, who is so good, and she'll go to the line as DiPuccio draws the foul. Weeman, a 67% free throw shooter. And Weeman knocks down the first. She's got 5 points. Five of the 8 scored by the young lady at the charity stripe. And kind of a delayed reaction by the student section. But Weeman rifles that through. 27-9. Seton up 18. Gregston, Gallardo, Benally back to Gallardo. Fires it up, and that one's in and out. Weeman with the rebound. Maza working that right side. Mustangs want to run. They want to get up and down. They want some transition baskets. Seton once again doing a good job. Racing back. Weeman, top of the key. She'll fire up the three, and Seton's okay with that. Good defense underneath by Jaden Herrera. The big block underneath on Sydney Long. Morales with Long on her for a split second. Worked over. Gregston will let it fly, and that is off the mark, and Herrera is out of bounds. And right now, if you're Sunrise Mountain, you're hoping that they can weather this storm without Dautre in the game, and they're hoping Seton will start missing some shots, which we've seen in the last couple possessions.
Absolutely. You know, they're down a huge asset, but this game is still within their grasp.
Maza picked up by Carmela Gallardo. And Morales with the steal. Sophie. And Sophie, so good at drawing contact, will shoot a pair. And how about the great body shielding by Sophie? She felt Maza coming up on her left side, a defender on her backside, and just split the needle between the two.
Yeah.
And she goes to the line. Sophie now 1 of 2 from the free throw line. And the points are piling up. Now with 9. Misses the second. 28-9. Maza working quickly up the floor. trying to turn the corner. Gallardo won't let her by. Fires up the shot, and Mazza, good off-balance move, 28-11. Gallardo from the other side, thought about it for a split second. And Morales saves it from a backcourt violation. Morales will let it go, and that one's off the mark. And Weeman pulls it down, and right now Sunrise trying to make a little run and draw closer. We're down 17. Work to the top of the key. Laney Damari. And now it's Long with Jaden Herrera on her. Weeman, guarded by Benally. Swung over in the corner. 9 on the shot clock. Shot is fired up, won't go. Carmella will work it over to Morales. Reagan Gregston will let it go to Carmella. Carmella puts it on the deck, little floater, off the glass and good. Little runner, and Carmella's got 10 points. Picking up where she left off, the lead is 19. And that was kind of a situation, Doc, where I was expecting Seton to try to pound one inside, get a good, crisp shot, but look, when you got the athletes they do and the scorers like Carmella, you just let them give them free reign to be the players they are.
Absolutely, and I mean, I feel like that's where these girls operate the best is, you know, when they're given the freedom to dribble on their own and run their own plays. But overall, I mean, these Sentinel ladies have just played a perfect matchup today so far.
Miles at the line, 80% free throw shooter. DiPuccio back in, Jaden Herrera, breather. Miles misses the second. Morales, 3 and change. And Dautre is back on the court. She's walking, a good sign for Sunrise. And that's going to be an offensive foul. And they say it wasn't offensive. They say Carmella stepped out of bounds. So that's the call as we play on. 28 seconds on the shot clock. Plenty of time for Sunrise, trailing by 18. Weeman, Gregston with the steal. Works it out to Gallardo. Gallardo on the run. And Carmella misses the bunny. Carmella from behind. And Morales gets the foul. And that's a situation right there, Doc. We've talked to Carmella about don't get a bad reach in, and that was a bad reach in by Sophie, who now has 2 personals.
Yeah.
30-12. 18-point lead for the Sentinels. Everything has gone right. Worked over. Mazza. Swung over. Inman. Sydney Long. Weeman, top of the key with Benally right in her mug. Now Weeman working down in the box. Drive, Gregston, Morales. Morales splitting 2 or 3 defenders, and Sophie all the way to the hoop.
Wow.
Sophie Morales, scintillating.
That was a beautiful shot. So much touch, and I mean, she's just a killer down low.
Mazza, tough runner, won't go. Morales, reading the defense, swings it over. DiPuccio will let it go from long range. Carmella picking up Inman, dumped down immediately. Damari, Mazza. Damari going strong. And that's going to be a reach-in foul. Call that a blocking foul against Reagan Gregston. That's her first 4 team fouls. So the Sentinels with a 20-point lead, and they've allowed only 4 points in the first, 8 here in the second. Last thing they want to do is have ticky-tack fouls derail their great lead. Mazza could not make that shot. Seton back offensively. Gregston lets it fly. And Reagan connects. Reagan Gregston getting more and more confident from the outside. Young lady, the long journey, putting up 7, 6, and 2. Morales swings it in the corner. Gregston looking inside for DiPuccio, knocked away. Winding down to 1 minute left in the first half. Kylie Inman picked up by Gregston. Weeman down low. Damari on the court. Coach Self wanted to travel. Mazza can't connect. It's DiPuccio. And Morales swings it over. Gregston puts it on the deck, going strong. And going the other way. And it seems, Doc, you know, when Reagan's wide open on that left side, she's got the ability to shoot that three immediately. Just got to have the confidence to let it fly.
Yeah. And, you know, we've seen flashes of Gregston from deep, and, you know, I hope that she builds upon that and shows it more often.
And how about the strong takeaway? Good work by Kara McIntosh. And Mazza connects on the three. 34-15. Seton will play for the last shot. Morales, left side. Gregston puts it on the deck. Swings it over. Gallardo, elbow. Won't go. DiPuccio goes strong. Mia cannot connect. McIntosh with the rebound. Sunrise can play for the final shot. Mazza at the buzzer. And it's off the mark. And after one, the Sentinels with a 34-15 halftime lead. And Doc, we saw it the other night, Sophie Morales, and she's got 12 points to lead the Sentinels in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, she looks great, and so do the rest of this Sentinel powerhouse teams, you know, starting five. And for Morales, she's taking care of the ball well. She's shooting the right shots, and I mean, when she gets in that mode, she's in that mode, and she's not missing, Joe.
Carmela Gallardo has knocked down a couple threes. She's got 10, and once again, it started on the defensive side, allowing only 4 first period points.
Yeah, and that's just tremendous. In the second period, we saw, you know, they didn't allow 11 points, but still, at that point, they've established themselves such a big lead that, you know, they can be leisurely a little bit on defense and afford themselves a bit of, you know, a break.
And the big news on the other side for Sunrise Mountain in the opening minutes, one of their leading scorers, Savannah Dautre, putting up 13, 6, and 2, a junior. She went down with a knee injury, and she went to the trainer's table where she spent a bulk of her time. She was grimacing in pain. She went back to the locker room. She came back on the floor, and we'll see if she suits up in the second half. At one point, it looked like she'd be done for the night, but then came out and tried to walk on a little bit and see if she could grind through it. So that'll be a story to tell in the second frame. And last night, Doc, we were privileged to a great matchup by Willie Baker and the girls soccer team. The 8th seed knocking off visiting Lee Williams, the 9th seed, by the count of 4-1.
Yeah, and you know, a great soccer game. If you have the chance, ladies and gentlemen, please come out to a Seton sporting event, because they do everything out here so well. But last night, I mean, the girls were just on fire. Offensively, the shot disparity was just ridiculous. Maybe, let's say, 13 to 2 shots or somewhere in that range. And, I mean, the girls were on the gas all night long, and it's kind of funny that we get to see the other girls' team, this, you know, basketball team, on the gas as well.
Kylie Monks with a pair of goals in that win last night. And now the team goes on the road Saturday. Well, they'll take on #1 Flagstaff, a squad they lost to on the road this year by the count of 4-2. But the basketball action also continues tomorrow night with the men in a playing game against Bradshaw, Doc. And Seton has played Bradshaw twice this year, splitting, winning here and losing at their place. And this time, third time is the win or go home matchup.
Yeah, so interesting stuff, Joe.
So we'll take a short time out here from John J. McMahon Gym. The Sentinels, the 5th seed in the open division with a 34-15 halftime lead over number 21 Sunrise Mountain. More to come from John J. McMahon Gym right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. So we welcome you back to John J. McMahon Gym. We're about 2 minutes away from starting the second half. Had a chance to talk to Coach Karen Self and about the first half, and she's, as you would expect, class all the way, was concerned about the health of Savannah Dautre and said she was glad that she's okay. Initially, when Karen and all of us saw Dautre laying on the court, grasping her knee, you're always thinking the worst, Doc. You're thinking ACL or an MCL injury, but that wasn't the case. And now she is with the team on the court as Coach Jen Tolles addressing her squad right now, and we don't know if Dautre will be back in this one. I had a chance to talk to an assistant on the team, and they mentioned that Dautre's probably done for the night, that she's going to rest it, but you never know in the course of adrenaline and the need, and you never know what athletes do under duress and what they're willing to sacrifice. Now, of course, it's all depends on physically if she's able. Last thing we want to do is see her out here and hurt herself anymore.
Yeah.
Her concern is priority or over this game or any outcome in this one.
Absolutely.
Needs to say, Karen talked about getting out to a big lead, and then she felt that her team didn't defend at the very end, and she was disappointed by that. Still, they're up 19, and we saw a lot of good things. Mia DiPuccio, 6 points. Carmela Gallardo with 10 points. And Sophie with 12 points. Caitlin Benally also added a bucket. Reagan Grigston with 5 points as well. So all the starting five have checked the scoring box. And now it's the second half. And Doc, the winner of this matchup, as we look ahead, potentially, the winner of this matchup will take on the winner of number 13 Dobson and number 1 Desert Vista. Desert Vista, the Open champions from a year ago.
Yeah.
And that game would be at the higher seed. So if Seton can hold on and Desert Vista is upset, Seton will have the quarterfinals right here. And Morales playing some tight defense right off the gates, making Lainey Damari work and work some more. Damari with Morales and Sophie yet again. They dump it down in the box. Weeman seeing a triple team. Work back outside. Maza. And Maza gets called for the travel. Good Seton man-to-man defense, good pressure defense, good rotation on that first defensive sequence for the Sentinels in this second half. And now can they pick up where they left off and ultimately put a nail in the coffin for the Mustangs, a team that has played spectacular outside the arena, Doc. 11-1, Carmela lets it fly. Carmela, a little strong, DiPuccio. Carmela thought about it for a split second. They work it out to Morales. Morales is long from 3. Right there is Benally. Benally will work it outside. DiPuccio, Carmela, Reagan spotting and a little long. But a good offensive sequence for the Sentinels. A lot of rebounds controlling that possession. Maza gets locked up, works it out to Sydney Long, and now it's back to Lainey Damari. Back to Long. 20 on the shot clock. Coming out, Kylie Inman swings it over to Weeman. They dump it down to Sydney Long, and ball's knocked out of bounds. And Weeman trying to be a facilitator on that possession. Inbounds. Inman will get the ball out to Damari. The swing out, and Benally takes it away. Gallardo over to Morales. Sophie reads the pass in the corner. Sophie splits a couple defenders. And that's going to be a blocking foul against Sydney Long. And sometimes Sophie is that offensive player that can just lull a defender into sleep. Carmela, it's going to miss from the outside. Trickles out of bounds, and Sunrise will take over. They're coming off a first-round victory over Sunnyside, 47-41. Talking to Coach Toll, they had a big 9-game winning streak, Doc, that was snapped at the very end of the season against Kellis.
Yep.
On home court. And that's a foul on Sophie. That's her third. And we kind of talk about, Doc, those ticky-tack fouls that can really hurt Seton in the course of a contest.
Yeah, and you know, those little ones, they accumulate, and before you know it, you're at 4, you're on thin ice.
Riemann turnaround. Good move, just cannot knock it down. Morales, right side. Splitting the defense, and Sophie. And Gregston cannot pull the rebound down. The only thing Sophie did not do was finish. Other side, Marza from 3. Won't go. Morales controlling the offense. Gallardo dumps it down in the post. Benally, Gregston pulls up, doesn't get the roll. And that time, DiPuccio short on the putback. Mazza kicks it in the corner. Long range 3. A little too strong. Long with the rebound. Rebound. Weedman driving by Benally. Misses at the rim. Seton got a break right there.
Yep.
Morales. Pull up. Won't go. And right now, both sides having the inability to knock down shots.
Yeah, and Sunrise cannot afford to give away any possessions right now or miss any free layups. I mean, this is do or die time for them, and they need to capitalize on every single opportunity that this game presents them.
34-15. Both teams have not scored in this second frame. Morales works the baseline, elbow, and Sophie ends the scoreless streak like a champ with the elbow after working the baseline. 36-15, the lead back to 21 for Seton. And they're calling MVP for Sophie Morales from the student section. Brock Steele, Julian Garcia, Miguel Grijalva, members of the boys basketball team. Gregston to Morales. Morales felt the pressure on the backside from Sydney Long. DiPuccio will swing it out to Gregston. Back to DiPuccio. 10 feet out, and Mia with the good touch. She's got 8 points, 39-15. A little over 3 minutes left in this one. Weeman works it across. Mazza, top of the key. Fires it up, wild shot. Tries to track it down. And they rule in favor of Seton. Jaden Herrera checking in. Jaden, such a spark plug off the bench, putting up almost 5 points and 3 rebounds. Hard-working young lady, senior. Her sister Jordan was on the team last year. Jordan also a member of the softball team. Carmela, a little elbow. And Carmela knocks it. She's got 12 points. 41-15. A 26-point lead for Seton. Mazza will let it fly from 3. And Mazza connects. The junior. She's got 9 points. Morales swings it over to Herrera. Plenty of time on the shot clock. And Carmela thought about it for a split second. Morales will let it fly from 3. And Sophie yet again.
Beautiful stroke.
And Morales has got 17. 44-18. Sentinels up by 26. Sunrise putting it on the deck.
Wow.
And the foul against Carmela. And that was a very tight call right there.
Yep. And the replay on the wonderful 3 there.
Once again, all our great video and coming from Paulo Hutchison as Mazza lets it fly from 3. Doesn't get the roll. Ball trickles in the corner, tracked down by Sydney Long. Tied up by Seton. And they get the possession. Good hustle by Jaden Herrera. Gregston out. Benally, Gallardo, Herrera, DiPuccio, and of course, the freight train. That is Morales steering the ship. Works in the corner. DiPuccio underneath. Good read, and Benally blocked by Weeman. But Benally will go to the line and shoot a pair. And I just love the bigs instinctively. They call that a non-shooting, so it's going to be Morales off the inbounds. Morales, Gallardo, a little elbow, and Carmela makes that look easy. She's got 14. 46-18. 28-point lead. Mazza. Good defense by Gallardo. It's going the other way as Gregston's about to check back in. And Gallardo taking a breather, and Carmela didn't want to come out. She's like,
she wants to stay in that game.
She wants to stay in. And I love that competitive fire in her. Right now, it's all about staying fresh for the next round. And that next round could be the biggest for Seton this year. Jaden from the outside, misfires. Tracked down, and Sophie picks it back up. Sophie in the corner, Gregston lets it go. A little too strong. And they call the offensive foul against Jaden Herrera. Working that body just a little too aggressively on the baseline. 46-18, and Doc, this is a score we did not expect.
No.
This is a score I did not expect whatsoever.
Definitely not, but I mean, Karen Self has these girls working like a well-oiled machine right now. I mean, they're in prime, peak shape for this playoff run.
And this is an offensive foul against Kara McIntosh. And obviously, the Mustangs, their rhythm, their offensive flow, disrupted in the early minutes when Savannah Dautre went out with that knee injury. Helped to the trainer's table, and she's not been back since. But Coach Jen Toll and her team, they play on. Lexi Walper now in the game. And that shot is blocked. Good aggressive defense by McIntosh. Morales misses. DiPuccio will pull it back out. Sophie. DiPuccio going strong. And Sophie will go to the line. And Karen Self had that look in her face like, I better get that call.
Yeah.
And Mia's got 8 points. A chance to tack on to it at the free throw line. Knocks down the first. 47-18. A 29-point lead. 39 seconds left in the third. Makes one of two. Mazza racing up the floor. Seemed so good in transition this one. McIntosh. McIntosh will shoot a pair. And that's 4 for Sophie. 27.8 seconds left. McIntosh at the line, a 59% free throw shooter. Can't connect on the first. Sophie gets a breather. And Doc, when you're up 29 points,
yeah,
you're not really worried about her in foul trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, she can rest for the rest of the night if Coach Self deems that the case. Almost a lane violation there from Herrera, but she steps back behind the line in time.
Sentinels will play for the final shot here in the third. Gallardo works the top of the key. DiPuccio swings it back to Carmela. Carmela over to Gregston. Gregston back to Carmela. 10 on the shot clock, 10 on the game clock. DiPuccio. Lexi Walper lets it go, and Lexi just short off the front of the iron. Tracked down by McIntosh. Mazza can't let it fly at the buzzer. And the Sentinels How good were they defensively in the third? They allowed 4 points, Doc.
Yeah, so right back to where they started in this one. Same in the first quarter, and I mean, these girls just look unstoppable here tonight, Joe.
47-19, and we talked about the big two in the opener over Buckeye as we look at Jen Toll and her team, and you can see number 12, Savannah Dautre, who got that knee wrapped in a black wrap, and she was lost in the opening minutes of this one with a knee injury right in front of the Sentinels bench. Karen Self talked about the concern she had for the young lady who has such a promising basketball career in front of her, only a junior, putting up 13, 6, and 2. Tall, physical, really can work the ball. It's got great handles, and no question, Doc, you take an important part of your offense out, a big three and that powerhouse offensive trio, and Jen Toole and her team basically had to play this game on the fly.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts to lose such a pivotal player, and you know, it's unfortunate to see that it happened to Sunrise Mountain here today on the road in the playoffs, but sometimes that's just the nature of the game, Joe, and things just go the way they go.
So 47-19, 8 minutes left. Of course, as we mentioned, the winner of this game will take on the winner of number 13 Dobson and number 1 Desert Vista. If Dobson win, Seton will host Dobson next Thursday right here at 7 p.m. If Seton wins and Desert Vista wins, well, Seton will play at Desert Vista next week Thursday. Carmella from long range, a little too strong. And how about Caitlin Benally tracking it down? DiPuccio to Gregston, swung over to Morales. Benally, long range, Carmella, and a lot of touches. And Doc, whew, that was just an impressive display. 5 touches, the end result, Carmella, and now she's got 17.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, these girls are championship ready, and they look good here today in the second round.
And an offensive foul against Sunrise Mountain. And we've got a running clock situation. 50-19 as Karen Self and her staff pointed that out, and they'd love to get off the floor here quick. Doc, it's all about rest and relaxation, and most importantly, as Benally to DiPuccio, just a little too strong underneath, is to get out of this one injury-free.
Yeah, and you know, the more rest you can give your girls, the better. You know, the saying is save your bullets, and these girls want to have the chamber fully loaded by the time they reach the final stretch of the playoffs.
Under 7 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Sentinels up 50-19. And possession in favor of Sunrise Mountain as the referees redirect traffic on that possession. Mazza going strong, and she buries the runner. She has 11 points. Gregston and DiPuccio underneath. Contact as she draws the double team. McIntosh, that's her third. Sentinels leading by 29. Morales, DiPuccio going strong. DiPuccio. And that is when Mia is at her best, Doc. She's going strong, looking at the basket, not trying to force it, not pushing away her body. Perfect execution. She's got 11 points. And right now, Sunrise Mountain and Coach Jen Toll is going to work some youngsters in and get them some valuable playoff time. And this is not how it was supposed to be scripted for Sunrise Mountain.
Yeah.
But right now, as we have a timeout on the floor with 5:29 left, Sentinels up 52-21, and Coach Karen Self is starting to unload the bench. We've seen Lexi Walper, Tracy Aniza is about to check in, and Doc, a situation for Karen Self. Such a commanding lead. Get that bench some work and keep the the starters intact.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just give your girls rest. I mean, this game is all but secured with 5:29 left on the clock. And, I mean, listen, this second row for Seton are no slouches either. These girls can play too. So this will be a fun final 5 minutes. And, you know, I'm excited for these girls to move on to the next round. But first, they got to focus on the task at hand.
And what about an exciting week it's been on campus with Karen Self and the Sentinels. They win the matchup in the open round 1 against Buckeye, and here they have a commanding lead. The soccer team last night knocking off Lee Williams in the first round of the 4A playoffs, and now Karen's team taking care of business, and then the excitement switches over to the boys tomorrow night. Carter Abey and his team on the road against Bradshaw Mountain for a 3rd time in the 4M playing game. Shot from the outside won't go. Jaden works the glass, and Sophie working the floor. Swings it over. Carmela on the deck. Inside, DiPuccio. Tracy Ineza underneath. And a good hustle and muscle by Tracy Ineza leads to another possession for Seton as we wind down to 5 minutes left in this one. Morales off the inbounds. Carmela will pull it back out, and Jaden swings it over to DiPuccio. Morales, Carmela, almost a catch and shoot. Works to her left and strokes it. And Carmela now with 19 points. And Lexi Walper about to check back in. Sentinels up 33. And Coach Jen Toll has really worked her bench. Maza's in, but we've also seen some youngsters get on the floor. Madison Cantrill, number 4, is also in, as well as number 33, Sydney Long, who is senior share. McIntosh, Cassandra Maltovo as well. Walper swings in the corner. Gallardo thought about it for a split second. Morales on the other side of the key. Shot clock is off. Running clock as Walper lets it go. Off to the left. We'll see Lexi Walper suited for the softball team here in a couple weeks. Coach Jerry Mullins. Active hands. And the foul against Jane Herrera. And Karen Self wants her team to be aggressive on the ball at all times. 3:24 left. Benally up top. McIntosh swings it up top to Long. Jaden Herrera with the steal. Jaden with an opportunity. 1-on-3. And Jaden, she'll shoot a pair. And that situation, Doc, you know what? Usually I wouldn't recommend a 1-on-3, but
Yeah,
in that situation, look, you're up by 33 points. So
Yeah.
be it.
Go get you some buckets.
Yeah.
She could have easily pulled that one out and played a slow possession out with her team, but hey, take a shot. So Herrera with 1 left to go, hoping to cash out here.
2 and change left in this one. And Jaden misses on both. Tracy Inez underneath. And Tracy, a fierce competitor, working strong underneath. She'll get the foul, but gotta love the effort coming off the bench and being aggressive, and that's what you gotta do. You gotta fight for minutes on the court. When you're on the court, it's survival of the fittest. You gotta battle at all times. Final 2 minutes of this one. Sentinels in total control. The block underneath by Esmeralda Lanigan. Ezzy off the bench and providing a great moment.
Yeah, the crowd loved that one.
Student section, they're out in force. It's neon night here. And Paolo Hutchinson did give us the screensaver earlier, and I just don't have anything neon. Not fluorescent lighting, not
No.
fluorescent anything.
No, me neither. Unfortunately.
Sunrise Mountain in transition. McIntosh dumps it down low. Cantrill, little elbow jumper. Ineza will pull it down. Benally swings it over to Walper. Lexi Walper, converted softball player. Been a great addition to this basketball team this year. Benally swings it over. Lanigan off the glass, rims in and out, underneath. And Sunrise Mountain will play out the final minute. Cantrill. McIntosh. Now Benally comes out deep. Cantrill tracks it down. And Doc, this was not scripted as planned. You thought Sunrise Mountain would be fully healthy for this one.
Yeah.
But the bottom line, Sentinels played out what was on the court. They get the job done in this one.
Yeah, and they did a great job all around. I mean, they picked up exactly where they left off in Tuesday's contest. And, I mean, to come out tonight and beat this team by 20-plus points is just remarkable from these girls.
They gave up 31 points in the win over Buckeye. They've allowed only 21 points tonight. I mean, that is what you call the old adage, Doc. Offense comes and goes. Defense wins you championships.
Yeah.
And the Mustangs with an opportunity at the free throw line. And the good news in this one, Savannah Dautre, knee injury suffered in the first period, right in front of the Seton bench. She's in good spirits. She's able to walk on it. And time is now winding down. Final seconds of this one. And the Sentinels have punched their ticket to the quarterfinals, dismantling Sunrise Mountain 54-22. And Carmela Gallardo with 19, Sophie Morales with 17, and Doc, the guard play for Seton, once again leading the charge.
I mean, just masterful stuff from those two girls up front, and the rest of the team follows suit every single time. These girls are so good, so just cohesive as a group, and they've definitely earned their spot in the quarterfinals, Joe.
And we look at Seton, and Doc, once again, can we even stress how good the defense has been in this one? 4 in the first, 4 allowed in the third, only 3 in the fourth.
Yeah.
And a special moment on the court right now is the coaching staffs. Of course, Jen Toll has a long relationship with Karen Self. Jen Toll played with a lot of the former Sentinel players that played here at Seton on the club circuit. So Jen and Karen are longtime friends. Jen considers Karen Self a wonderful mentor for her as a young basketball coach. And make no mistake, Jen Toll in her time was a tremendous basketball player, an all-time scorer at Skyline High School, played at Westmount College in Santa Barbara, California. Longtime friends, and years later, they're on the court, and you can see that picture of Jen with her Sentinel teammates on the club circuit right on the right side of your screen, and right now they're talking about the health concern, of course, for Savannah Dautre. And
yeah.
There's basketball, Doc, and there's friendships, and of course there's priority number one, the health of these young student athletes.
Yeah, absolutely, and health is paramount. These girls come out to compete, but at the end of the day, I mean, their safety is #1 priority.
So we're going to take a short time out, just like we did on Tuesday. Post-game interviews to come. We'll hear from Carmela. We'll hear from the freight train that is Sophie Morales. And we'll hear from Coach Karen Self. More to come here from John J. McMahon. Jim. And we welcome back to John J. McMahon Gym. The Sentinels with a second round open victory over Sunrise Mountain, 54-22. Here with Sophie Morales, who knocked down 17. And Sophie, once again, you and Carmel.
Was unfortunate, number 12. She's a really good player. I don't know really what happened. I hope she's okay though. Speedy recovery. But we watched a lot of film. We knew their big could shoot, so we asked our Kate and Mia to step out on those and trust us to help her. But everything was just flowing well, especially for me and Mella. Our shots were going in. But yeah, we either play Dobson or DV, but whoever it is, we're going to be ready next week.
And that was Savannah Dotre, who went down with the knee injury. And of course, in that kind of situation, it totally disrupts the flow of their offense and everything they do in the course of the season. But let's talk about your squad defensively. And this one, once again, you gave up 31 in the victory over Buckeye in the first round. 22 points tonight, 4 in the first, 4 in the third, and only 3 in the fourth. Talk about this team just locking up the opposition.
Yeah, obviously everyone knows Coach Self for her defense, but I mean, watching film, like, for us really helps, I think, just because we know where, when to help or if we should help and our position. I feel like that really helped us, but we did our homework on them, and obviously we put in the work all season defensively, and I think, yeah, really locked down today.
And Sophie, if this will be the last home game you play this year, and you do everything possible to keep it intact, you finish the season 10-0 right here at John J. McMahon Gym. What does that mean for you and your teammates to get everything done and win in front of the home crowd and be perfect on home court this season?
It means a lot, especially all the some students coming out today, also wearing the theme. Last year, losing to Mesquite definitely put a chip on our shoulders, so we're just really happy that, I just feel like we earned it.
So now, next round, next Thursday night,
Yep.
you're taking on the 1 seed. You'll be taking on Desert Vista at their place. Your thoughts of playing the role of underdog? Sophie, going there and trying to knock off the Thunder.
Yeah, we're going to go into it, if we're the underdog or if we're expected to win, in the same mindset. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. DV has a really good starting 5, and their bench is amazing. They're well coached as well. So I'm just really excited. Hopefully just get a chance to compete and, give them a game.
There you go. That is Sophie Morales. 17 wins, make that 17 points in the win over Buckeyes, 17 points tonight in the win over Sunrise Mountain. And when Sophie has the ball in her hands, she has the whole world in her hands, as she does right now with a little bit of a globe right in her hands. Coming up next, we'll listen to Carmela Gallardo, who's going to join us right here from John J. McMahon Gym on the Seton Catholic Sports Network.
Thank you.
And we welcome you back to John J. McMahon Gym. I am joined by Carmela Gallardo. And Carmela, 1, 2, 3 threes, part of a 19-point night. You had the touch going. You had it going from everywhere on the perimeter. Your thoughts of coming back out here again and finishing where you left off the other night when you scored 17 in the win over the Buckeye?
I was really happy with us. We started off the game strong, moving the ball really well on offense and handling our business on defense. And I just love the energy we came out with.
And you talk about the energy. Once again, you gave up 31 points in the win over Buckeye. You give up 22 points tonight. You give up only 4 in the second, 4 in the third, 3 in the fourth. Wow. Talk about the defensive effort by this team, picking it up at just the right time.
That was I'm really proud of us for doing that, because for film we were watching everything they were doing, and we stopped most of their actions. We stopped their shooters. We stopped their bigs, and I was just really proud of all of our defensive efforts.
Yeah, it was a great defensive effort. And what I loved about it, I mean, of course, you were scintillating from the floor. No bad reach-in fouls.
Yeah.
And I know that's been a point of emphasis from the coaching staff and from everyone. And just talk about your mindset to play aggressive, but not to reach in and pick up a ticky-tack one along the way.
Yeah. Coach has been on me for that, and I have been pretty bad about that. But tonight I was pretty happy that I didn't get as many, and I wasn't in foul trouble, which is really good because I don't like being in foul trouble.
So how does it feel to finish a perfect 10-0 this season right on home floor?
It feels really good. I feel like we just handle our business and we just do what we do.
So Carmela, now Seton, you've been the favorites in the first 2 rounds, and now you're going to be the underdog next week. Next Thursday night, you're going to go on the road and face #1 Desert Vista, the Thunder. They won the Open title last year. Your thoughts of what it's going to take to go there and knock off the Thunder and move on to the semifinals?
It's going to be really tough. They're a really good team, but I feel like if we give it our best and just prepare for everything and just do what we do, I feel like we could pull out with a good outcome.
There you go. That's Carmela Gallardo, 17 in the win over Buckeye, 19 in the win tonight against Sunrise Mountain. Great job, kiddo.
Thank you.
Good luck next Thursday. Keep it right here. Coming up, Karen Self on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Welcome you back right here to John J. McMahon Gym, where the lights are still on just for a brief moment. And Karen Self is always the most classiest individual on and off the court. And of course, the score and everything was in the favor of the Sentinels tonight. But the biggest concern on the court was the health status of Savannah Dautre, who came off the court in the first period with the knee injury, was worked on and never returned in the game. And the good thing, Coach, is she's in good shape and good spirits.
Yeah, I mean, we were just really concerned for her because she was right in front of me when she injured her knee, and just her reaction, just made me very concerned about her knee and whether she'd be able to continue. And I think at halftime they said she was going to try and warm up, but I don't think it went well. So I think on the better side of caution, they kept her out for the second half. So just thoughts and prayers for her, and hope that she's okay and that there's, no damage to her knee that's going to keep her out.
So that was a big kind of rhythm disruption for the Mustangs as they had to press on. And needless to say, Coach, your team continues to pick up where it left off over the win against Buckeye. You get great shooting against from Carmela and Sophie. They combined for 36 points on the night. They lead the team. And your thoughts on what you saw from them and your team on the offensive end?
Yeah, I'm just really encouraged by how aggressive we are being offensively, taking shots when we're open, attacking the basket, and kind of mixing it up. I mean, kind of the other night we had Mela go off in the first quarter, Sophie go off in the second quarter, Mia go off in the third quarter. And so it was a little bit of that tonight where, each of those kids had their moments where they got good looks at the basket and connected. So I'm just really happy with where we're at right now. And we just got to tighten up a few other things and just start to prepare. We're probably going to see Desert Vista in the Elite 8, so we're going to get ready for that.
And before we talk about the Thunder, Coach, talk about finishing a perfect season on home court. And I know how much that means to you to win here and protect home court and play well in front of the home crowd, and the girls finish a perfect 10-0 right here at John J. McMahon
Yeah,
Gym.
that's pretty awesome. I don't know that I've ever tracked that or paid much attention to that before, but yeah, we certainly want to hold home court advantage every time we have the opportunity. So yeah, it's a fantastic way for our seniors to go out in their last game with a big happy win and, kind of relaxed feel to the game. And then, just want to get these kids ready for next week.
So you get some time off, Coach, and how good is that just to get a little time to recoup the minds and bodies to get back to, not that you have any kind of major injuries, but there's always those nagging little injuries here and there, to get a little time off to kind of heal up a little bit for next week?
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to give the kids tomorrow off and give them just some time for recovery, roll out and stretch, whatever they need. And then of course Sunday we're off, so it just kind of breaks it up a little bit so it doesn't feel like so monotonous with like practice every single day, because it was a long break between our last regular season game and our first playoff game. So this after such a long break this week felt like fast and furious, so much watching film, so much trying to prepare, and and Sunrise Mountain was the lower seed. We sort of were expecting Sunnyside, I think, but always watching out for Sunrise Mountain because they're so well coached and they do have a lot of talent. But yeah, I mean, it was such a fast and furious week that I think tomorrow off is probably a good idea.
So Karen, that being said, now we look forward to the big matchup. Number 1 Desert Vista, the defending Open champions. They'll be playing on their home court. You're going to be the first time in this postseason. You're going to be the underdog. Yeah. What is it going to take for Seton to go over there and pull off a win and have the opportunity to be one of the few teams standing after next week?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to play, great Seton defense. We're going to have to be really locked in and focused mentally and then super disciplined. We can't be sending them to the free throw line and getting ourselves in foul trouble. So we just have to play really great position defense and then take our opportunities when we have them. We can't pass up open looks when we have them. And we have to continue to share the ball, which our kids have done a great job of all season. So if we can, take opportunities when we have them and find the open player, find the best shot, not necessarily the first shot, but the best shot. I think we're gonna be really competitive. So.
And for you, Karen, you're such the competitor, and I know that this one has got you fired up inside. You're low key on camera, but I know how fired up and geared up you are right now. How excited are you for this matchup next week, and the girls to go in there to be a team in the 4A with a chance to knock off the Goliath on their home court?
Yeah, I mean, I'm good friends with their coach, Erin, so if she can tune in and watch this, and I'll just, sing my sandbagger song, and we're not going to have a chance. And so I don't even know why they're going to play the game, but then we're going to show up and we're going to bring our best.
There you go. That is Karen Self. The ladies get it done, knocking off Sunrise Mountain in impressive fashion. Next week, they're on the road, taking on number 1 Desert Vista. That match will be on NFHS. Paulo Hutchison will be on the live stream. I believe, I got to check my schedule, yours truly will be on the call for that one as well. And by the way, the men are on action tomorrow night. They take on Bradshaw Mountain in the 4A playing game. Those two teams split in the regular season. Now, go Carter AB. The third time will be a charm for the boys on the road. And the women's soccer team, they are on the road Saturday after an impressive victory over Lee Williams last night, 4-1. They traveled to number 1 Flagstaff with another opportunity against the Eagles. That is Karen Self. 800-plus wins and counting, slowly closing in on Minor Webster's all-time victory total on the women's side, and once again chasing a 13th state championship. She'll have that opportunity in the ladies next week as they take on number 1 Desert Vista in Thunder territory. We appreciate all the good people here at Seton Catholic that allowed this to happen, all the great people in the athletic department, and of course Paulo Hutchison, the magician on the live stream. Thank you, Paulo, and thank you to all the people behind the scenes at Seton. I'm Joe Pequeno. Take care, have a great night, and of course, go Sentinels.
Thank you.